FM News. If it's new, then it's news.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the World News from Honor 103.5 FM. On the national news this afternoon, Nigerian Union of Pensioners lament over pensioners' earnings. And on the African news, Burkina Faso refuses to take deportees as U.S. stops issuing visas. On the foreign scene, Palestinians return to dilapidated homes as President Trump secures ceasefire. And on the business report, federal government partners European Union to deploy European-style digital governance system. On the sport news this afternoon, Super Eagles revive World Cup hopes with 2-1 win over Lesotho. Welcome once again to the news. I am Timitokwe Dada. Now the news and details. A former deputy chief whip of the state, the Senate, Senator Agbola Ayola, popularly known as Alleluia, has officially resigned from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Oyo State, ending his decade-long association with the party. In a resignation letter dated October 10, 2025, and addressed to the state leadership of the PDP, Senator Ayola expressed gratitude for the opportunities the party gave him to serve as commissioner on their former governors Rashid Ladoja and Adebayo Alao Akala, and later as the only PDP senator from Southwest between 2011 and 2015. The former lawmaker explained that his decision was guided by future political ambitions, noting that his deliberate absence from the party's recent congresses reflected his new direction, while extending his best wishes to the PDP as it formally ended his membership. Also in the news, the Nigerian Union of Pensioners has lamented the dire living conditions of retirees across the country, revealing that many state pensioners still receive as little as 5,000 naira monthly, while only 13 states pay pensions and gratuities regularly. The union's General Secretary, Mr. Akhtar Zal, while speaking with newsmen today, criticized the federal government's pension-backed loan scheme, arguing that most pensioners cannot afford to repay such loans from their earnings and that the initiative would worsen rather than solve their financial struggles. Mr. Zal urged the federal government to approve a 60,000 naira minimum pension, provide health insurance and food support for retirees, and review the contributory pension scheme to ensure fairness and sustainability across all pension systems. On the African news this afternoon, Burkina Faso's military government has rejected a United States proposal to accept deported migrants, prompting Washington to suspend the issuance of visas in the West African nation. Foreign Affairs Minister Karamoko Traore accused the United States of attempting to blackmail Burkina Faso after the government refused repeated offers to take in deportees from third countries under President Trump's immigration crackdown. Appearing on the state television, Mr. Traore insisted that Burkina Faso is a place of dignity, not a place of expulsion, as relations between the two nations continue to sour amid the country's growing anti-Western stance. Moving on to the foreign scene, thousands of displaced Palestinians have begun returning to Gaza on Friday, moving through the ruins of their homes following a U.S.-brokered ceasefire under which Israeli forces withdrew to end weeks of fighting. According to reports, long lines of people were seen walking north towards Gaza City, which had endured some of Israel's heaviest bombardment during the conflict. Many returnees have expressed both relief and despair as they found their neighborhoods in ruins, with entire districts of Gaza City and Khan reduced to rubble. business report this afternoon, the federal government is set to implement the European-style X-Road digital governance system, a secure open-source platform designed to interlink public institutions and streamline access to government services. Announced at the 2025 Nigerian GovTech Conference in Abuja, the initiative is backed by the European Union, which has pledged support through expanded broadband infrastructure, digital literacy programs, and financial assistance. The X-Road system will allow seamless data exchange across government agencies, helping Nigeria reduce corruption, cut costs, and enhance transparency in line with President Tinubu's governance reform agenda. On the sports news this afternoon, the Super Eagles have boosted their chances of qualifying for the 2026 FIFA World Cup after defeating Lesotho 2-1 yesterday, with goals from Ekong and Akko Adams sealing a vital win for Nigeria. Despite the victory, Benin Republic's win in their own match keeps Nigeria second in Group C with 14 points, 3 behind the leaders, meaning the Eagles must win their final game and rely on other results to secure qualification. With one match left, Nigeria's hopes hinge on beating Benin Republic, improving their goal difference and hoping rivals drop points, while Lesotho's loss all but ends their World Cup dreams. We have come to the end of the world news from Honor 103.5 FM. Before we go, here is a recap of the main story. On the national news this afternoon, we informed you that Nigerian Union of Pensioners has lamented over pensioners' earnings in the country. And on the African news, Burkina Faso has refused to take deportees as United States stops issuing visas. On the foreign scene, Palestinians have returned to dilapidated homes as President Trump has secured the ceasefire. On the business report this afternoon, federal government is partnering with European Union to deploy European-style digital governance system in Nigeria. And finally, on the sports story, Super Eagles have revived the World Cup hope as they won 2-1 over Lesotho yesterday. Report news mentions and news commercials. Contact the Honor FM newsroom on 0817-675-5555 or 0913-600-1035. You can also visit our website at www.honorfm1035.net for more information. The news is compiled and edited by Oluwatobi Ojumu. I am Timito Kwedada. Thanks for listening.
And that was the news on Honor 103.5 FM. Honor and integrity.